You think you're doing the right thing. You skip the fast food, you grab a bag of spinach, maybe toss in some organic kale or pre-cut fruit, and you feel good about it. Healthier, smarter. But what if I told you that glossy green bag of salad might be hiding mold? That the fresh-picked carrots could have been harvested weeks ago in another country, then stored, sprayed, and shelved to trick your senses? You wouldn't expect a banana to lie to you, but here's the uncomfortable truth. It already has. Today's produce sections don't just sell vegetables, they sell illusions. And the deeper we look into how your favorite chains, Walmart, Safeway, Kroger, Food Lion, Giant, and Family Dollar, actually treat their fruits and vegetables, the scarier that illusion becomes. So buckle up, because once you know the truth, there's no going back. Walmart doesn't just dominate the grocery market, it defines it. The store where you can buy a rotisserie chicken, motor oil, and socks in the same 10 minutes is also where millions of Americans grab their weekly fruits and vegetables. But when it comes to produce, Walmart's obsession with everyday low prices might be costing you far more than you think. Behind those perfectly lit aisles and eye-catching rollback signs are produce practices that insiders say would make you lose your appetite. Former Walmart produce employees have exposed how boxes of slimy, half-rotted lettuce are revived by peeling off the outer leaves, spraying them down with cold water, and throwing them back on the shelf. The visual is crisp and clean. The reality is something else entirely, and it gets worse. Walmart's pricing demands put brutal pressure on suppliers to meet rock-bottom costs. That means vegetables are often picked far too early, shipped long distances, and stored longer than is safe. One bag of spinach might have been harvested over 10 days ago, driven across several states, and sat in transit for nearly a week, only to sit in the store's backroom cooler for another 3 days before you saw it on display. And sometimes there is no cooler. Viral videos have shown cucumbers and bell peppers sitting at room temperature in backrooms overnight because no one had time to unload them properly. It's not just about freshness anymore. It's about safety. Photos posted from customers show Walmart cabbage displays crawling with gnats. And when one toddler was caught on camera licking tomatoes from a low shelf, employees stood by for over 3 minutes. The bin was refilled later that same day. No cleaning, no replacement. Just more tomatoes on top of the ones that were licked. And then there's the sticker scandal. In 2022, Walmart was accused of slapping locally grown labels on imported vegetables from Mexico, a move that's not only misleading, but dangerous since foreign farms may use pesticides banned in the U.S. or wash produce in untreated water. Think you're eating clean? Think again. Safeway tries hard to look like the classy cousin of Walmart. Its dimmed lighting, polished floors, and boutique-style displays all whisper upscale. But behind the scenes, it's a whole different story. Former employees have revealed what they call rotation theater, a disturbing routine where wilted and near-expired produce is stacked on top of new shipments to make it sell faster. So while you think you're picking up today's fresh romaine, you're actually getting yesterday's soggy leftovers. And some managers allegedly aren't even trying to hide it. One viral post on Reddit included a photo of a moldy bell pepper being wiped down with paper towels before being placed back on the display. The manager's words, "If the customer doesn't touch it, they won't know." And what about those fancy vegetable misting systems that make everything glisten? Employees have admitted the pipes are rarely cleaned. In some stores, when you open the back valve, the smell isn't refreshing. It's moldy. One worker put it bluntly, "There's stuff growing in there." And that's not all. In at least 3 states, California, Arizona, and Washington, health inspections found that Safeway locations were storing perishables at unsafe temperatures. One store in particular moved everything into the floral fridge after their walk-in cooler broke. Floral, as in the fridge meant for flowers. Even the organic section is suspect. Multiple employees confess that when they run out of organic kale, they just dump in regular kale and call it a day, charging premium prices for the same old leaves. Want a healthy pre-cut veggie tray for your party? That plastic packaging might be sealing in bacteria, not freshness. It traps moisture and accelerates spoilage. One deli worker confessed, "If you wouldn't eat a wet carrot after 12 hours on your counter, don't eat one of ours." Kroger likes to talk a big game when it comes to produce. With massive displays, fresh for everyone branding, and a near-national footprint, it gives the impression of being the safe middle ground between high-end and discount chains. But former employees say that impression is paper thin. One anonymous produce clerk admitted they had a standing rule: rotate everything, unless we're short-staffed, which was almost always. That meant old bananas, bruised strawberries, and withered spinach sat out for hours or days, long past their prime. And when things really started to look bad, enter what employees call the miracle spray. It's a combo of cold water and lemon juice, not to clean, just to make dying lettuce and spinach look photogenic. It doesn't disinfect, it doesn't refresh, it just buys time. So when you thought you were buying a fresh head of lettuce, you might have actually bought something that was wilting behind the scenes and got hit with a spritz of citrus perfume before being tossed on the pile. The pre-cut section is another danger zone. Bagged salads, veggie trays, diced onions, they look convenient. But employees from multiple locations admitted that these are often assembled early in the day and left out for hours before refrigeration. Some trays even sit in the back room for most of a shift. One whistleblower said, "I've seen diced peppers and carrots sit out from morning until after lunch. If there's no space in the fridge, they stay where they are." Then there's the matter of truth in labeling. A 2021 audit uncovered Kroger locations with locally grown tags slapped onto produce that had traveled thousands of miles, like zucchini from Guatemala. Customers filed complaints. Most got silence. Even worse, pest problems at some locations have become public thanks to viral videos showing flies crawling on bell peppers and mushrooms. The official response? We're enhancing our sanitation efforts. 2 weeks later, a new video popped up. Different store, same infestation. Rodent droppings, too, have entered the chat. A Georgia location had to temporarily shut down after a shopper, not an employee, spotted feces behind a produce cooler. The worst part? That cooler stayed stocked until the health department stepped in. And don't even get us started on those value bins, giant tubs filled with discounted veggies. Where do those peppers and tomatoes come from? According to multiple workers, the trash pile. We grab what's too damaged to sell full price and toss it in. If it looks okay from the outside, it's good enough for the bin. If you're from the southeastern United States, you've probably shopped at Food Lion. It's marketed as a convenient, affordable chain with just enough freshness to keep up appearances. But dig deeper and the cracks show fast. Because Food Lion's produce section is often smaller, the flaws are harder to hide. One customer posted a photo of celery so dried out it looked fossilized, still on the shelf, marked with a manager's special sticker like it was a bonus. A former employee confirmed the brutal truth. If we could sell it before the mold appeared, it went out. Unlike stores with daily or bi-daily produce shipments, Food Lion relies on bulk deliveries, sometimes just once a week. That means vegetables can sit unrefrigerated in overstocked coolers or, worse, stacked in back hallways. No airflow, no cold storage, just wilted greens waiting for their moment under the mist machine. And when it comes to food safety, the problems aren't just theoretical. In 2019, a South Carolina location failed a state inspection after pre-cut fruit was being held at 55 degrees Fahrenheit, well above the USDA's 40-degree safety limit. Even worse, the inspector found salad mix leaking onto other items. The solution? Wipe them down and get them back on the shelf. Then there's the in-store recycling program, not the eco-friendly kind. Former employees say managers routinely encourage repurposing expired produce. Slimy spinach? Chop off the edges and throw it in a sauté blend. Mushy tomatoes? Dice them into pico de gallo. As long as it didn't reek, it went back out in a new form. One deli worker put it plainly: if it could be chopped, it got used. Even if it was gray. Customers aren't blind. A woman in Alabama posted a video of carrots in a sealed bag that were slick with gray slime. Another shopper in Tennessee opened a bag of slaw mix and found live bugs crawling inside. The expiration date? Still 5 days away. And yet it was on the shelf like nothing was wrong. What's worse, Food Lion's displays themselves are part of the problem. Many are made from porous wood or rough plastic. ideal places for bacteria to hide and grow. One employee said the cleaning routine was maybe once a week, and even then it was usually just a quick sweep, not sanitation. So that nice-looking bell pepper bin, it might be sitting on days-old food juice, trapped in the cracks of untreated wood. On the surface, Giant looks clean, competent, and reliable. But as with so many grocery chains, it's the backstage that tells the real story. Multiple former employees have exposed a store-wide tactic known as pile rotation, stacking the freshest produce on top while the older, slimier stuff hides below. One worker said they were told to build towers of tomatoes and apples, not to ensure freshness, but to make the display look full. That means what you grab from the middle might have been rotting since Monday. The tricks don't stop there. One shopper in Pennsylvania posted a photo of a pre-cut veggie tray with so much condensation trapped inside, it looked like it was sweating out its regrets. Another customer bought a bag of spinach that turned black 2 days after purchase. When they checked the expiration date, it was rubbed off, not removed, just gently smudged. Just enough to make you guess. And if you thought that was just bad luck, consider the case of repackaged sales. Former employees said expired cucumbers and tomatoes were pulled, sorted, and stuffed into 3 for $2 bundles, right back on the shelf. The manager's defense? Better in a sale than in the bin. Giant has also battled pest issues. In 2022, a Maryland location had to destroy hundreds of pounds of produce after a fruit fly infestation got out of control. But before the fruit was pulled, it sat on the floor. Still for sale. One customer noticed gnats hovering over apples. Another reported spider webs between bunches of cilantro. And if you think employees are trained to stop this, think again. The average produce worker at Giant gets less than 2 hours of food safety training before being left alone to manage an entire section. Yes, Family Dollar sells produce. And yes, it might be the last place you'd expect to grab a bag of salad, but it happens. And unfortunately, that's a problem. In 2023, over 400 stores were temporarily closed after the FDA found widespread rodent infestations at a central warehouse. That warehouse supplied food, including vegetables, to dozens of Family Dollar locations. Inspectors reported live rodents, dead ones, feces, and urine in food storage areas. The company's response? Quiet product pulls and vague public statements. Customers still reported finding expired canned veggies on the shelf weeks after the recall. One woman said her bag of onions smelled like ammonia. Another found garlic that had turned to mush. Even in stores not hit by the rodent scandal, refrigeration remains optional. Literally. Some Family Dollar locations lack proper cold units. That means anything perishable, including spinach, carrots, and fruit, sits at room temperature for hours or even days. One employee confessed, "If the AC goes out, we keep selling it unless it smells. And when deliveries don't show up, managers borrow from other shelves." One said they reused old stock or dusted off expired onions to avoid empty bins. Bell peppers with mold were wiped down, soft potatoes moved forward, and shriveled veggies repackaged with new stickers. One shopper in Georgia found a bag labeled "Best by January" in March. When asked, the cashier said, "It's still good, just dry." Location conditions make things worse. In many lower-income areas, Family Dollar stores suffer from poor maintenance. Leaky ceilings, dirty floors, broken coolers. Combine that with a low-turnover produce section, and you get a perfect storm. Old food, unsanitary conditions, and no one to stop it. Here's the part they don't want you to notice. This isn't about one bad apple. It's not about one spoiled tomato or one lazy employee. This is a system designed to disguise decay with marketing, mist, and bright lights. Whether it's Walmart faking freshness, Safeway swapping kale, Kroger spraying rot with lemon water, or Family Dollar literally selling mold in a bag, the goal is the same. Make the produce look good long enough for you to buy it. They know you won't rip apart every bag of salad. They count on you not inspecting celery under a lamp. They expect that by the time you realize something's off, it'll be too late. You'll be home. Dinner already made. Too tired to go back, too unsure to complain. And that's the trick. The colors are brighter than the quality. The The word fresh is a marketing tool, not a promise. The trust you put in those green stack displays, that's what they're selling, not the food. But here's the thing. They're not invincible. You have power, more than you think. Every time you skip a moldy value pack, you send a message. Every time you turn down a tray, sweating through its plastic wrap, you're shifting the balance. You don't need a protest sign. Just walk away from the bin. That hurts more than a bad Yelp review. Train your eyes, snap the stems, check for slime, look under the bag. If it smells wrong, don't second-guess yourself. And don't be fooled by labels. Organic means nothing if it came from a shelf that hasn't been cleaned in weeks. These grocery chains aren't counting on you being lazy. They're counting on you being polite, on you thinking it's not a big deal. But if you've made it this far, you already know. It is. Because food isn't just about price. It's about trust. And once that trust is broken, no rollback sign can fix it.